Today is one of those days I'd love to get out and start working in my big garden, maybe chopping up some rows, maybe starting to do some stuff. My neighbor's coming to till it up with his tractor, but there's things I could probably get done. However, I can't. That's the way it is a lot of times when you're homesteading or taking care of a home place. You want to go forward, but you have to go backwards before you can go forward. And I had a little thing happen the other day that has created a project for me that I wasn't anticipating, but here it is. I had the top half of a tree fall down the other day. It put debris all in my yard. It was this tree here, and you can just see it broke off at the top. It went way up there and it broke off and it just fell down on the ground. I heard it, felt it actually. It rocked the trailer. I thought my husband had fallen and I went running in there and he was fine. And I did not know what that was that had shook our trailer, but next morning I found this in my yard. This is a big log here. It's a big log and I have to deal with all this. I have to deal with it myself. But luckily this time I'm not entirely by myself. Fortunately for me, my neighbor drove up and he had noticed that it fell, and he offered to hook his grapple to his tractor and to come down here and take this big part for me and move it to my burn pile. And for this big part, I'm gonna let him do that. I appreciate it, because otherwise I would have to somehow split this into smaller pieces or hire somebody to come do it. And he just came by and volunteered. I'm certainly gonna take him up on it. But for all the small pieces, they're pretty rotten, but I'm gonna try to make a good thing out of this situation. I'm gonna try to make, lemonade out of lemons with this. I've heard a lot of other people on different channels talking about pushing their logs up like to a fence line or something and putting some dirt on top of it, and then in a short amount of time, relatively speaking, how things like this work, relatively speaking, a short amount of time, these logs can break down and become dirt. And I can turn around and use that dirt again. And I'm thinking I'd rather do that than to burn it and have it just gone. Burning it would clean up the place quicker, but I think I want to make dirt out of it. On the complete other side of our property is where my garden is. That's this area over here. Behind my garden, it's between the garden and a fence. I have a trailer there that I'm really wanting to get rid of. But between that is this little area right here. This part pretty much stays dirt, because this is where I had two big piles of wood chips laid whenever they cut trees down here at my property. They dumped the wood chips here. So for a year or so, I just gathered wood chips off of this pile and took them to all different parts of my yard to put around garden beds and flower beds and stuff. But what I'm thinking is this might be the best place to move some of those logs to, and to let them try to break down and turn into dirt, because my garden is right there, and that garden is probably going to be there permanently. I think I'm going to pile it all right here in this spot. I'm going to pull from all these leaves and all the different dirt that's kind of shoved up near that fence, and I'm going to put as much dirt and leaves as I can on top of this pile of wood once it's back here. And also, before I do that, let me say this. I happen to have a couple of grandsons that they're little, but I'm gonna tell you what, one thing they love to do is take hammers and little small mauls and beat the heck out of boards. They love to do it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut them loose on this wood pile when I get it stacked, and I'm just gonna tell them, come beat it. Come hit it with those hammers, with the tines, and get after it. This wood is pretty rotten. It's pretty rotten, and I think they could do some damage and beat it up and break it down a whole lot to where this wouldn't take that long. I could help them too when I need to, but I could surely let them get after it, and they would have fun. If they're ever over here recently and I can get them out here and do that, I'm gonna have them do that and break this down as much as I can. And I'm gonna turn this into dirt so that I can just step right there and put it in the garden. I think that'll be the best thing to do with this tree, rather than just burn it and it be gone. What do y'all think? And if you want to know why I'm stopping everything to do this now, and why not just let it lay there a while, is because I have another project coming. That's why I wanted to start filming for y'all again and showing you things, because I actually have a lot going on. My mom is moving onto our property. She's going to be coming here in the next couple of months with a cottage that we're having built right now for her, that is going to be laid on my property on a foundation. And I've got all that to do. And this tree that fell is right behind the spot where we're putting the cottage. It's going to be right outside of her window. So I want to get that area cleaned off and everything about that whole part of my yard cleaned up. It's really kind of taking precedence over my gardens this year, so I'm kind of juggling them both because everything's culminating all at the same time. But the videos about her cottage are coming. I look forward to telling you what we're going to do. A lot of people might be in the situation where they're having to think about solutions for their parents and things like that, as far as living arrangements, and maybe this will help somebody. That's why I really wanted to come back and share with y'all our journey with all of this. When I have something I need to get done, the first thing I usually have to do is say, how am I going to get it done? What tools do I have? Do I have my wheelbarrow that I spent a good bit of money for and that I used for a year or two? No, it rusted out and now it is a flower pot. Do I have my golf cart that can really help me move things around the property if I need to? Not right now. The battery has gone out. I can't figure out what's wrong with it. So right now it's a glorified dog bed. All I could think of that I really had that I could use for this project today was my lawnmower. So I got on it and I got with it. You just have to figure things out. And I want to send a message today to all the ladies that are watching this video, or young women. You have to just do things you don't really want to do. At times you don't really want to do it, and you have to do it alone a lot of times. I'm in that situation now where I do not have help from my husband because he's not able. I don't want to harp on that all the time, but I want to make it a point to people that you need to learn to do things on your own. Do them alone sometimes, just out of necessity. What if that help from your husband, your boyfriend, your dad, whoever, what if that help is not available? What if they go off to work somewhere? What if they get hurt? What if something even worse happens and you are on your own to deal with things? You got to figure it out. I can tell you right now, I'm not saying this because I'm some kind of big, strong person that just always gets her done. I'm not. I'm tired a lot of the times. I walked out and saw that tree and I was like, oh, yeah, that's about right. A tree fell. That's, and I get that attitude and I get like, what am I going to do? First thing I think of is, who should I call? Who should I call? And then I realize I need to just handle it. I need to figure it out. I was blessed to have my neighbor come by and offer to help move the big part with his grapple, but the rest of it's up to me. I can't bother him with everything, and he's actually not he's a post-stroke patient as well, not as bad as my husband, but he's got his own issues. And so I can't bother all my neighbors with all my problems all the time. I have to figure out things as they come up, as they leak, as they break, as they give me trouble. And I have to just figure out what to do. And I can tell you, it exhausts me. It exhausts me. And I get tired. I feel like everything just breaks. One thing after the other breaks. As soon as I fix it, something else breaks. As soon as I fix it, something else breaks. But because that's happened, and because I've had to deal with things so many times, I'm getting pretty proficient in figuring out what to do. I'm getting pretty proficient in fixing a lot of things that I never thought I'd be fixing, like sewer lines and faucet sinks leaks when they leak in the faucets. I have learned to figure those things out, and I've made videos on them if you want to go back and find those. I try to teach other people how to do what I've learned how to do. My friend had learned how to fix a dryer pulley when it breaks. So when mine broke, she came over and helped me fix that. So we can all help each other. I can show you what I learned from my problems. You can show me what you learned from yours. We can all share videos on this platform of YouTube and help each other out. Because ladies, when it comes down to it, you can't always just holler for help from your husband or whomever.
And really, it's not fair to wear them out doing every little job around the place when there's a lot of things you could do too. I just keep going. I just, man, I get tired. After I do all this, guess what? I'm also the one that's got to go in there and cook the meals. I'm the one that's got to keep the clothes going. I'm the one that's got to clean the house. I'm the one that's fixing to be mowing all summer. It never really stops. And while it does wear me out, and while I am kind of complaining a little bit, I guess you would say, about it right now, I'm also feeling pretty good about my skill set. And I'm feeling pretty good that I'm learning so much. And nobody can take that away from me. Once you learn a skill and everything, nobody can take that away from you. You've mastered it, you've got it. Or at least you've got the confidence to know that you've got it. You know, you've got the confidence to know that you can learn, you can figure it out, you can troubleshoot, and it's not going to get the best of you. You are going to get the best of it at some point. And I think it's like, I don't know, I didn't figure this out until this happened with my husband. I've always tried to be pretty competent, and I did help run our household, and I got the kids everywhere they needed to go. But as far as the skill set of actually fixing things or dealing with heavy objects and just figuring out a solution, that skill set is really getting honed now. It's getting honed in this time of my life. And I encourage all women to work on that. Do not wait till you're 80 years old and your spouse passes away and you have to figure out how to deal with things. Don't wait that late. Get on it now. Learn things now. Learn skills now. And you will be forever grateful to yourself for doing so. I know that I am. I know that I am.
Just to make a point to you, I set my phone right here a while ago so I could walk around and pick up some other pieces of dead wood that had fallen throughout my yard. Of course, I got on my lawnmower, completely forgot about it, and took off. The phone, of course, vibrated and went there and down there and landed on the deck of my lawnmower right up amongst my pulleys, but somehow it was just sitting there. It didn't get torn up. But I could not find any place on this mower where I could reach my hand to get it off of that deck without undoing the deck. So this is where problem solving comes into play. I got these little clipper things that we have for my husband that he uses when he's out in the yard and needs to pick something up or he drops something. He keeps them on his golf cart. You can get these anywhere. And I used it. It wouldn't clamp the phone because I couldn't get a good angle on it. But I used it to knock it off of the deck and onto the ground. Then I had to crank the mower, pull up a little bit, and get my phone. The moral of the story, though, I guess, of this video today started showing you how I was picking up wood and making dirt out of it, but it's turned into kind of just letting you know you've got to figure out ways to solve your problems. No use crying about it, no use pouting about it, no use running for help as your first option. If you need help, get help. But as your first option, try to do it yourself. Try to figure out a way to solve it. And when you do, you feel so good. It's like that rush that you get in looking at videos or scrolling or whatever. But in this case, you're getting that rush because you've accomplished something. You've done something. And that's so much better than all that other stuff. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. I thank y'all for joining me today. I hope this kind of hit home to some people because sometimes we feel like we just need to call for help. We just need to pay somebody else to do it, when a lot of times we can figure it out. We can figure it out. What tools do you have? Look around, figure out what you've got to work with that'll help you accomplish it, and then at least try. At least give it a try before you bail. Just at least give it a try. Y'all take care. Have a good day. I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.